Yep.
Okay. So I just
already
aim it
recording.
at you guys? I don't have to zoom in or anything?
No.
Okay.
Yeah,
Alright.
you want to zoom in real quick.
I mean, it's fine.
That's fine, yeah.
I bet you're worried. I was worried. That's why I began this piece. I was worried about vaginas. I was worried about what we think about vaginas, and even more worried that we don't think about them. I was worried about my own vagina, and I needed the context of other vaginas. A community, a culture of vaginas. There's so much darkness and secrecy surrounding them. Like the Bermuda Triangle. Nobody ever reports back from there. In the first place, it's not so easy even to find your vagina. Women go weeks, months, sometimes years without looking at it. I interviewed a high-powered businesswoman who told me she was too busy. She didn't have the time. Looking at your vagina, she said, is a full day's work. You have to get down there on your back in front of a mirror that's standing on its own full-length curve. You've got to get in the perfect position with the perfect light, which then is shadowed somehow by the mirror and the angle you're at. You get all twisted up, you're arching your head, killing your back. You're exhausted by then. She said she didn't have the time for that. She was busy. So I decided to talk to women about their vaginas, to do vagina interviews, which became the Vagina Monologues. I talked with over 200 women. I talked to older women, young women, married women, single women, lesbians, college professors, actors, professionals, sex workers, African American women, Hispanic women, Asian American women, Native American women, Caucasian women, Jewish women. At first, women were reluctant to talk. They were really shy, but once they got going, you couldn't stop them. Women secretly love to talk about their vaginas. They get very excited, mainly because no one's ever asked them before. Let's just start with the word vagina. It sounds like an infection at best, maybe a medical instrument. Harry nurse, bring me the vagina. Vagina, vagina. Doesn't matter how many times you say it, it never sounds like the word you want to say. It's totally ridiculous, completely unsexy word. If you use it during sex, trying to be politically correct, darling, could you stroke my vagina? You kill the act right there. I'm worried about vaginas. What we call them, or don't call them. In Great Neck, they call it a pussycat. A woman there told me that her mother used to tell her, don't wear panties underneath your pajamas, dear. You need to air out your pussycat. In Westchester, they called it a pookie. In New Jersey, a twat. There is powder box, derriere, a coochie, a poopy, a pee-pee, a popaloo, a punani, a pow, a peachy, toady, BD, Michi, dignity, monkey box, coochie snatcher, cooter, lady, Gladys, Siegelman, B.A. wee wee, horse spot, nappy dugout, mongo, a pajama, fanny boo, mushmallow, a ghoulie, possible, tamale, tatita, Connie, a Mimi in Miami, a Splitnish in Philadelphia, and Shmenda in the Bronx. I am worried about vaginas. I asked all the women I interviewed the same questions, and then I picked my favorite answers. Although, I must tell you, I never heard an answer I didn't love. I asked women, if your vagina got dressed, what would it wear?
All of the women were asked the following question.
If your vagina got dressed, what would it wear?
Glasses, a beret, a leather jacket, silk stocking, mink, a big bow.
A male tuxedo, jeans, something form-fitting.
Emeralds, an evening gown, sequins,
Armani only.
a tutu, see-through black underwear, a taffeta ball gown.
Something machine washer.
Costume eye mask, purple velvet pajamas, Angora, a red bow.
Ermine and pearls, a leopard hat, a silk kimono, sweatpants, a tassel,
And a shocking device.
it's basically saying,
High heels,
I'm gonna buy
lace, and combat boots.
No.
Purple feathers, twigs and shells, cotton.
a pinafore,
A bikini.
a slicker,
And if your vagina could talk, what would it say? 2 words.
Low down. Is that you?
Feed me. I want. Yum, yum. Oh, yeah.
Start again. No, over there. Lick me. Stay home. Brave choice.
Think again. More, please. Embrace me. Let's play.
Do not stop. More. Remember me.
Come inside. Not yet. Whoa, mama. Yes, yes. Rock me.
Enter at your own risk.
Oh, God. Thank God. I'm here. Let's go. Let's go. Find me.
Thank you. Bonjour. Too hard. Don't give up.
Where's Brian? That's better. Yes. There.
I interviewed a group of women between the ages of 65 and 75. These interviews were the most poignant of all, possibly because many of the women have never had a vagina interview before. Unfortunately, most of the women in this age group had very little conscious relationship to their vaginas. I felt terribly lucky to have grown up in the feminist era. One woman who was 72 had never, ever seen her vagina. She had only touched herself when she was washing in the shower, but never with conscious intention. She had never had an orgasm. At 72, she went into therapy, and with the encouragement of her therapist, she went home one afternoon by herself, lit some candles, took a bath, played some comforting music, and discovered her vagina. She said it took her over an hour because she was arthritic by then, but she finally found her clitoris, she said. She cried. This monologue is for her. The flood.
Down there? I haven't been down there since 1953. No, it had nothing to do with Eisenhower. No, it's a cellar down there. It's very damp, clammy. You don't want to go down there. Trust me, you'd get sick, suffocating, very nauseating. The smell of clamminess and the mildew and everything. Woo! Smells unbearable. Gets in your clothes. No, there was no accident down there. I didn't blow up or catch on fire or anything. It wasn't so dramatic. I mean, well, never mind. No, never mind. I can't talk to you about this. What's a smart girl like you going around talking to old ladies about their down there's for? We didn't do this kind of thing when I was a girl. What? Jesus, okay. There was this boy, Andy Lefkov. He was cute. Well, I thought so. And tall, like me. And I really liked him. He asked me out on a date in his car. I can't tell you this. I can't do this, talk about down there. You just know it's there, like the cellar. There's rumbles down there sometimes. You can hear the pipes and things get caught there. Little animals and things, and it gets wet. And sometimes people have to plug up the leaks. Otherwise, the door stays closed. You forget about it. I mean, it's part of the house, but you don't see it or think about it. It has to be down there, though, because every house needs a cellar. Otherwise, the bedroom would be in the basement. Oh, Andy? Andy Lefkov? Right. Andy was very good looking. He was a catch. That's what we called it in my day. We were in his car, a new white Chevy Bel Air. I remember thinking that my legs were too long for the seat. I have long legs. They were smushed up against the dashboard. I was looking at my big kneecaps when he just kissed me in this surprisingly take me by control like they do in the movies kind of way. And I got excited, so excited, and well, there was a flood down there. I couldn't control it. It was like this force of passion. This river of life just flowed out of me, right through my panties, right onto the car of his seat, of his new white Chevy Bel Air. It wasn't pee, and it was smelly. Well, frankly, I didn't really smell anything at all. But he said, Andy, said that it smelled like sour milk, and it was staining his car seat. I was a stinky, weird girl, he said. I wanted to explain that his kiss had caught me off guard, that I wasn't normally like this. I tried to wipe the flood up with my dress. It was a new yellow primrose dress, and it looked so ugly with the flood on it. Andy drove me home without saying another word, and when I got out and closed his car door, I closed the whole store. Locked it. Never opened for business again. I dated some after that, but the idea of flooding made me too nervous. I never even got close. I used to have dreams. Crazy dreams. Oh, they're dopey. Why? Burt Reynolds. I don't know why. He never did much for me in life, but in my dreams, it was always Burt and I, Burt and I, Burt and I. It was always the same general dream. We'd be out, Bert and I. It was some restaurant like the kind you see in Atlantic City, all big with chandeliers and stuff, and thousands of waiters with the vests. Bert would give me this orchid corsage. I'd pin it on my blazer. We'd laugh. We were always laughing, Bert and I, laughing. We'd eat shrimp cocktail, huge shrimp, fabulous shrimp. We'd laugh more. We were very happy together. Then he'd look into my eyes and pull me to him in the middle of the restaurant, and just as he was about to kiss me, the whole restaurant would shake. Pigeons would fly out from under the table. I don't know what those pigeons were doing down there. And the flood would come straight from down there. It would pour out of me. It would pour and pour. There would be fish inside it and little boats, and the whole restaurant would fill up with my flood. And Bert would be standing waist deep in it, looking horribly disappointed in me that I'd done it again, horrified as he watched his friends, Dean Martin and the like, swim past us in their tuxedos and evening gowns. I don't have those dreams anymore, not since they took away just about everything connected down there. Moved out the uterus, the tubes, the whole works. The doctor thought he was being funny. He told me if you don't use it, you lose it. But actually, it turned out to be cancer. Everything around it had to go. Who needs it anyway? Highly overrated. I've done other things. I love the dog shows. I sell antiques. You ask me what it would wear. What kind of question is that? What would it wear? It would wear a big sign, closed due to flooding. Would it say? What would it say? I told you. It's not like that. It's not like a pigeon who speaks. It stopped being a thing that talked a long time ago. It's a place you don't go. It's closed up under the house. It's down there. You happy? You made me talk. You got it out of me. You got an old lady to talk about her down there. You feel better now? Well, actually, you're the first person I ever told about this, and I feel a little better.
Thank you. And now we have a vagina happy fact.
The clitoris is pure in purpose. It is the only organ in the body designed purely for pleasure. The clitoris is simply a bundle of nerves. 8,000 nerve fibers to be precise. That's a higher concentration of nerves than it is found anywhere in the human body, including the fingertips, the lips, the tongue, and it is twice the number in the penis. Who needs their handgun when you have a semi-automatic?
In 1993, I was walking down a street in Manhattan when I passed a newsstand and was suddenly struck by the deeply disturbing photograph on the front page of Newsday. It was a picture of a group of 6 young women who had just returned from a raid camp in Bosnia. Their faces revealed shock and despair, but more disturbing was the sense that something sweet, something pure, had been forever destroyed in each of their lives. I read on. Inside the newspaper was another photograph of the young women, recently united with their mothers, and standing in a semicircle in a gymnasium. There was a very large group, and not one of them, mother or daughter, was able to look at the camera. I knew I had to go there. I had to meet these women. In 1994, thanks to the support of an angel, Lauren Lloyd, I spent 2 months in Croatia and Pakistan, interviewing Bosnian women refugees. I interviewed these women and hung out with them in camps, cafes, and refugee centers. I have been back to Bosnia twice since then. When I returned to New York after my first trip, I was in a state of outrage. Outrage that 20,000 to 70,000 women were being raped in the middle of Europe in 1993 as a systematic tactic of war, and no one was doing anything about it. I couldn't understand it. A friend then asked me why was I surprised. She said that over 500,000 women were raped every year in this country, and in theory, we were not at war. This monologue is based on one woman's story. I want to thank her for her sharing it with me. I am in awe of her spirit and strength, as I am in awe of every woman I have met who survived these terrible atrocities in the former peace is for the women of Bosnia. My vagina was my village. My vagina was green, water-soft pink fields, cow mooing, sun resting, sweet boyfriend touching lightly with a soft piece of blonde straw. There is something between my legs. I do not know what it is. I do not know where it is. I do not touch, not now, not anymore, not since. My vagina was chatty, can't wait. So much saying, words talking, can't quit trying, can't quit saying, oh yes, oh yes. Not since I dreamed there's a dead animal sewn in down there with thick, black fishing line, and the bad dead animal smell cannot be removed, and its throat is slit, and it bleeds all over my summer dress. My vagina, singing all girl songs, all goat bell ringing songs, all wild autumn field songs, vagina home songs. Not since the soldiers put a long, thick rifle inside me, so cold, the steel rod canceling my heart. Don't know whether they're going to fire it or shove it through my spinning brain. 6 of them, 6 monstrous doctors with black masks shoving bottles at me too. There were sticks and the end of a broom. My vagina, swimming river water, clean squealing water all over sun-baked stones, over stone clit stones over and over. Not since I heard the skin tear and made lemon screeching sounds. Not since a piece of my vagina came off in my hand, a part of the lip. Now one side of the lip is completely gone. My vagina, a live, wet water village. My vagina, my hometown. Not since they took turns for 7 days, smelling like feces and smoked meat. They left their dirty sperm inside me. I became a river of poison and pus, and all the crops died and the fish. My vagina, a live, wet water village. They invaded it, butchered it, and burned it down. I do not touch now, do not visit. I live someplace else now. I don't know where that is. And now we have a vagina sad fact.
Female genital mutilation has been inflicted on approximately 130 million girls and young women. In the 20th countries where it is practiced, mostly in Africa, about 3 million young girls a year can expect a knife, a razor, or a glass shard to cut their clitoris or remove it altogether. In a man, it will be arranged from amputation of most of the penis to removal of the whole penis. Short-term results include tetanus, hemorrhages, cuts in the urethra, bladder and vaginal walls. Long-term include chronic uterine infection, increased agony and danger during childbirth, and early death.
And now, rightfully so, we have the monologue, My Angry Vagina.
My vagina's angry. It is. It's pissed off. My vagina's furious and it needs to talk. It needs to talk about all this shit. It needs to talk to you. I mean, what's the deal? An army of people out there thinking up ways to torture my poor ass, gentle, loving vagina, spending their days constructing psycho products and nasty ideas to undermine my pussy, vagina motherfuckers. All this shit they're constantly trying to shove up us, clean us up, stuff us up, make it go away. Well, my vagina's not going away. It's pissed off and it's staying right here. Like tampons. What the hell is that? A wad of dry fucking cotton stuffed up there? Why can't they find a way to subtly lubricate the tampon? As soon as my vagina sees it, it goes into shock. It says, forget it. It closes up. You need to work with the vagina. Introduce it to things. Prepare the way. That's what foreplay is all about. You've got to convince my vagina, seduce my vagina, engage my vagina's trust. You can't do that with a dry wad of fucking cotton. Stop shoving things up me. Stop shoving and stop cleaning it up. My vagina doesn't need to be cleaned up. It smells good already. Don't try to decorate. Don't believe them when he tells you it smells like rose petals when it's supposed to smell like pussy. That's what they're doing, trying to clean it up, make it smell like bathroom spray or a garden. All those douche sprays, floral berry rain. I don't want my pussy to smell like rain. All cleaned up like washing a fish after you cooked it. I want to taste the fish. That's why I ordered it. Then there's those exams. Who thought them up? There's got to be a better way to do those exams. Why the scary paper dress and that scratches your tits and crunches when you lie down so you feel like a wad of paper someone threw away? Why the rubber gloves? Why the flashlight all up there like Nancy Drew working against gravity? Why the Nazi steel stirrups? The mean cold duck lips they shove inside you? What's that? My vagina's angry about those visits. It gets defended weeks in advance. It won't go out of the house. Then you get there. Don't you hate that? Scoot down, relax your vagina. Why? So you can shove mean, cold duck lips inside it? I don't think so. Why can't they find some nice, delicious purple velvet and wrap it around me? Lay me down on some feathery cotton spread. Put on some nicely friendly pink or blue gloves and rest my feet in some fur-covered stirrups. Warm up the duck lips. Work with my vagina. But no, more tortures. Dry water, fucking cotton, cold duck lips, and thong underwear. That's the worst. Thong underwear? Who thought that up? Moves around all the time, gets stuck in the back of your crusty butt. Vagina's supposed to be loose and wide, not held together. That's why girdles are so bad. We need to move and spread and talk and talk. Vaginas need comfort. Make something like that, something to give them pleasure. No, of course they won't do that. Hate to see a woman having pleasure, particularly sexual pleasure. I mean, make a nice pair of soft cotton underwear with a French tickler built in. Women will be coming all day long. Coming in the supermarket, coming on the subway, coming happy vaginas. They wouldn't be able to stand it, seeing all those energized, not taking shit, hot, happy vaginas. If my vagina could talk, it would talk about itself like me. It would talk about other vaginas. It would do vagina impressions. It would wear Harry Winston diamonds, no clothing, just there, all draped in diamonds. My vagina helped release a giant baby. It thought it would be doing more of that. It's not. Now it wants to travel. Doesn't want a lot of company. It wants to read and know things and get out more. It wants sex. It loves sex. It wants to go deeper. It's hungry for that. It wants kindness. It wants change. It wants silence. It wants freedom and gentle kisses and warm liquids and deep touch. It wants chocolate. It wants to scream. It wants to stop being angry. It wants to come. It wants to want. It wants my vagina. My vagina, well, it wants everything.
For the last 10 years, I have been actively involved with women who have no homes. Women we call homeless people, so we can categorize and forget them. I have done all kinds of things for these women who have become my friends. I run recovery groups for women who have been raped or suffered incest, and groups for women addicted to drugs and alcohol. I go to the movies with these women. I have meals with them. I hang out. Over the past 10 years, I have interviewed hundreds of women, and all that time, I have met only 2 who were not subjected to incest as young girls or raped as young women. I have evolved a theory that for most of these women, home is a very scary place, a place they have fled, and that shelters where I meet them are the first places many of them ever find safety, protection, or comfort in the community of other women. This monologue is one woman's story as she told it to me. I met her about 5 years ago in a shelter. I would like to tell you it's an unusual story, brutal, extreme, but it's not. In fact, it's not nearly as disturbing as many of the stories I've heard in the years since. Poor women suffer terrible sexual violence that goes unreported. Because of their social class, these women do not have access to therapy or other methods of healing. Their reported abuse ultimately eats away at their self-esteem, driving them to drugs, prostitution, AIDS, and in many cases, death. Fortunately, this particular story has a very different outcome. This woman met another woman in that shelter, and they fell in love. Through their love, they got out of the shelter system and have a beautiful life together today. I wrote this piece for them, for their amazing spirits, for their amazing spirits, and for the women we do not see, who hurt and who need us. And this is called The Little Coochie Snorcher That Could. Memory. You December 1965, 5 years old. My mama tells me in a very loud, life-threatening voice to stop scratching my coochie snorcher. I become terrified that I've scratched off down there. I do not touch myself again, even in the bath. I'm afraid of the water getting in and filling me up so I explode. I put Band-Aids over my coochie snorcher to cover the hole, but they fall off in the water. I imagine a stopper, a bathtub, hug up there to prevent things from entering me. I sleep with 3 pairs of Happy Heart patterned cotton underpants underneath my staff-up pajamas. I still want to touch myself, but I don't. Memory, 7 years old. Edgar Montaigne, who is 10, gets angry at me and punches me with all his might between my legs and feels like he breaks my entire self. I limp home, I can't pee. My mama asks me what's wrong with my coochie snorcher, and when I tell her what Edgar did, she yells at me. She says, never let anyone touch me down there again. I try to explain, he didn't touch it, Mama, he punched it. Memory, 9 years old. I lay on the bed, bouncing and falling, and I impale my coochie snorcher on the bedpost. I make high-pitched screaming noises that come straight from my coochie snorcher's mouth. I get taken to the hospital, and they sew it up down there from where it's been torn apart. Memory, 10 years old. I'm at my father's house, and he's having a party upstairs. Everyone's drinking. I'm playing alone in the basement, and I'm trying on my new white cotton bra and panties that my father's girlfriend gave me. Suddenly, my father's best friend, this big man named Alfred, comes up from behind, pulls down my new underpants, and sticks his big hard penis into my coochie snorcher. I scream, I kick, I try to fight him off, but he already gets it in. My father's there then, and he has a gun, and there's a loud, horrible noise, and then there's blood all over me and Alfred, lots of blood. I'm sure my coochie snorcher is finally falling out. Alfred is paralyzed for life, and my mama doesn't let me see my father for 7 years. Memory, 13 years old. My coochie snorcher is a very, very sad place, a very bad place. A place of pain, nastiness, punching, invasion, and blood. It's a site of mishaps, it's a bad luck zone. I imagine a freeway between my legs, and girl, I am traveling, going far, far from here. Memory, 16 years old. There is this gorgeous 24-year-old woman in our neighborhood, and I stare at her all the time. One day, she invites me into her car, and she asks me if I like to kiss boys, and I tell her that I do not like that. Then she says that she wants to show me something, and she leans over, and she kisses me so softly on the lips with her lips, and then she puts her tongue in my mouth. Wow. She asks me if I want to come over to her house, and then she kisses me again and tells me to relax, just to feel it. She asked my mom if I could spend the night, and my mother's delighted that such a beautiful, successful woman has taken an interest in me. I'm scared, but I really can't wait. Her apartment is fantastic. She's got it all hooked up. It's the 70s. The beads,